This is my introduction to Skyshrine, Tier 2 zone in Claws of Vishan. For the most part, regular invis works with this zone, and that's what I'm using here. I set my height filters at 60. I find that gives me the best one level map look. As you said, I'm running through all of these. I'm sure there are sea invis mobs. I just have not run into them at least at this route. The named spawn, the spawn I'm going to show you is Professor Atkru, and his placeholder are the tenured mentors. And there's kind of three main sites where you'll find these tenured mentors, and you can pull them. Now, these mobs will summon, but they can be rooted, and so you can off-root the mobs as a form of crowd control, as long as you don't damage them. Once you've damaged them, of course, they will summon you back, all over. The rats also summon. That's something to keep in mind. There are areas in Skyshrine where you will get like 9 rats at a time. But the rats are very easy to handle. They don't hit particularly hard. They don't have a lot of hit points. One reason I like this named spawn as kind of an introduction to Skyshrine is it has a knife-safe spot where you can regroup, rebuff, res, heal, take breaks, and nothing's going to bother you. The most that will happen is a rat will come up to these steps in front. Now, in this case, this is Professor Atkru, and we're pulling him. I won't show you the whole battle, but he has a AE that does like a whirlwind spin. It's a knockback, a stun. This is Calamordant. You can get your mercenary quests here. And one of them is the kill rats one, where you have to kill 8 rats. And you can solo that particular mercenary quest on your own. I have not tried the others. I suspect they'll be much harder, but the rats are a piece of cake.
A rat is slow.
There's 2 rats that wander here. They respawn fairly quickly, and you can just pull them. If you're with a group and you're going for the named, then if you just go directly in front of this area, you turn left, there's a door, and there's quite a few tenured mentors there. You can pull them, and then just depends on how far your group needs to go if you want to pull others or move, that type of thing. You get a lot of double pulls, but again, you can also the pulls. Have not tried to mez them. Suspect mez probably doesn't work because they're dragons, but root works fine. And these rats, they are absurdly easy. It's like going back to Ring of Scale mobs, maybe at Gorwin or something. I hate to even say they're as hard as TBL mobs. On the other hand, the other mobs in this zone are much tougher. And while I can solo easily in most of the TOV zones, including Tower of Frozen Shadow, for example, I don't think I would solo in Kale. These mobs hit too hard, and since they're summoning, I can solo them, but I can't solo them routinely. What I mean is, they're just, it's not effective. These would be what you'd want a tank partner or something like that. At least a group. So anyways,
refresh dot.
These are the rats. I put my mercenary on passive when I pull, and usually a greater hold of the pet. That way, if a pull goes bad, I can hit Inconspicuous Totem and be out of the pool quickly. Pull quickly. Sorry, my pronunciation is not the strongest. So these are little rats. They're easy. You can solo this. And so this is a camp where you could solo if you wanted to. And really, I think most people can solo these. These are not hard mobs at all. Again, I can tank them as a shaman. I slow them, of course. I will pull the next mob, which will be a cagey drake, and you'll see the total difference as that mob basically kicks my ass from here to Sunday. No, I didn't do the best on that. I mean, one of the things is you'll hear refresh dot, refresh dot, refresh dot. I merged my Gyna triggers recently, and somehow this refresh dot got in there. I've got to track that down because it's not helpful, and it's not my other triggers. What I like to have is specific to each of my dots when they wear off, and just when they wear off. I don't really want a lot of input using my Gyna triggers unless I can,
Evil Eye.
Unless it helps.
Refresh dot.
And so this refresh dot also is apparently triggered whenever Spectre of Renewal wears off. I've got to figure out where that is and what happened when my triggers got merged. So let's see. So I put my pet on guard here so he won't follow me out. That's really unnecessary because I have him on greater hold, and so he's not going to aggro if something happens to hit me. I go forward to the left and around, and there's this cagey drake here. I go ahead and pull it, and this will give you an idea of the difference between the rats and other mobs in this zone, because they only get tougher than this cagey drake. And it will hopefully explain to you why I might solo the rat mercenary quest, but I'm probably not going to solo much of anything else here. So he's rootable. I root him, slow him. You're going to want to use your resist debuff, melees, a lot in COV, because you will find that they will resist your dots more than you'd like. They will resist your slow. Not too badly here, though. On Rage, you definitely need to debuff the mobs. But they definitely will resist your dots more, so you want to fully debuff these mobs. Excuse me. So you see my pet can tank these mobs, but I'm pretty much having to heal 100% of the time. It's hard to stop and DPS. That's one way. I'm using a cleric merc here. You have your three choices. In TOV, I rarely pull out my cleric merc. I would usually go with my DPS merc, my melee merc, because I'll be the tank a lot of the times. And sometimes I might go with the tank merc. But I don't go with the cleric merc. In COV, your tank merc, unless you have maybe all of your tank AAs, is relatively useless. Dies far too quick. I wouldn't want to try and keep him up. I've tried. It doesn't work.
Refresh dot.
You can't be the full-time tank on these mobs, as you'll see. So I don't use my DPS merc when I'm soloing. I go to the heal merc because that gives me a little time to do more DPSing and not totally be healing. Now, in this case, my pet has died, probably because I lost focus for a moment. I'm really not doing a great job on this. You'll notice that I'm refreshing my disease dot all the time. You don't want to do that. It's your lowest DPS dot. It's the longest running. You cast that once and forget it. What you want to be casting is chaotic venom when that comes up. Evil Eye every 30 seconds, and your curse dot every 42 seconds. That's why I've got to fix my Gyna triggers, because I don't always, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed sometimes when it comes to this stuff. I try and figure out the rote ways to do it, and then follow it. In this case, I'm refreshing disease dot.
Refresh dot.
Useless.
Renewal.
But even so,
Refresh dot.
I would not want to do these mobs all the time routinely. I mean, I can
Refresh
solo
dot.
one, but I cannot solo them effectively. It's just too tough. And again, summoning. So I will throw up my root, and since there's nothing else to aggro, I'll use my multi-root too
Refresh
occasionally
dot.
just to give myself a few seconds to heal myself, throw in some dots, and hope that its hit points run out before my hit points run out. And I'm fairly buffed as a shaman, so I if you're going to try this really
kg
bad
drink is slow.
technique for moloing mobs, you probably want to have a ton of hit points and however much AC you can pack in. I
Refresh
probably
dot.
should be using my group heals more than my single target heals. They're pretty effective. But in this
Refresh
case, like I
dot.
said, I guess I'm rattled as I do this.
Refresh dot.
But this is a good campsite.
Refresh dot.
You can get one of your mercenary quests done
Refresh
solo.
dot.
There's a named you can pull. There's a nice spot where you can relax and take breaks as you want. And it's an introduction to Skyshrine,
drink
which
is
is a
slowed.
decent tier 2 zone. And that's really all I have to say. Wish you guys the best. I'll talk to you later, and Happy New Year. Bye.